everyone, it's Autumn and welcome to another day of Vlogtober. So today I wanted to go over my top 5 books that I think would be so awesome to read in the fall. These are creepy, they're kind of so eerie, and I just love these books. And these are in no particular order. I don't favor one more than another. They're all so good. I don't have any favorites. I just love reading, so I just like all of these so much, and I think they would be perfect to read in the month of October, so stay tuned to hear the list. So the first one is called Tell No One by Harlan Coben. I have to try my best to not, I guess, give too much away. David Beck, who is the main character in this book, has to deal with the really tragic loss of his wife. It's his wife, right? Yes, his wife. And he was attacked while with her on their anniversary or something along those lines. He thought she died and he had to recover from the attack, but then someone starts contacting him, someone he doesn't know, and then he starts to wonder if is it his wife? Is it someone who maybe knows what happened? Is it the killer? He tries to track down who killed her, kind of what happened. He digs into the history after 8 years because he couldn't get over it. This is a great one. It's very creepy. I love this book. The next book is by Joe Hill. It is called Heart-Shaped Box. And the cool thing about this book, well, I guess the author, is Joe Hill is actually Stephen King's son. And you can kind of tell in the way he writes. It is so good. It's about this guy named Judas Coyne who's really interested in really weird and creepy things. And so he buys a dead man's suit and it's in a heart-shaped box. And then the guy who would own the suit starts to haunt him and kind of follow him around and create lots of problems. This one is so good. It's not too scary, but it's kind of creepy. So this would be a great one if you want to, just sit, chill by a candle and read something kind of creepy, but yet you don't want to get too serious. This is a great one. This one is more of mystery, kind of creepy. This one is more just creepy, haunting sort of story. So this one's really great if you want something kind of mild and more like a psychological horror. Next is also written by Joe Hill, and this one's longer. This one's 700 something pages, almost 800 pages. Also by Joe Hill, it's called Nosferatu. Now this one, I will say, is probably one of my favorite books of all time. I love this book. It is so good. And this one is pretty creepy. I was able to devour this. And it's pretty much about a woman named Victoria. They call her Vic in the book. Victoria McQueen. And I don't know how much to say without giving it away, okay? So she has this bicycle that she goes over a rickety bridge, and that is kind of like a gateway to wherever she wants to go for different problems or whatever. So it takes her to this guy who owns this also sort of gateway, but it's within his own mind, to this place called Christmas Land where he takes children. And so she interacts with him, she almost gets kidnapped by him, but then she finds a way out and she's fine. But then years later, when she's an adult and she has her own kid, her kid gets taken. And then she gets a motorcycle and can go back through her little bridgeway again. And this one is so creepy because you see a lot of the interaction with the guy in Christmas Land. This is one of my favorite books. I was obsessed with this after I finished it. I did not want it to finish. It is so freaking good. This one is really creepy. So if you want something really horror, really creepy, chilling thriller, this is what you want to read this October. Next is by David Mitchell. This is called Slade House. This one isn't very scary as more as it is chilling. This is about a house that kind of appears when it wants to bring someone into it. Then once you get deeper into the house and you think everything's fine, you've been invited as a guest or you just happen to stumble across it or whatever, and then they eat your soul. And it's very subtle with how creepy it is. And as you can see, it's a pretty short read. It's really cool because it's split up into the different perspectives of different people who have found the house and then get eaten or not. You have to find out. All of the people who interact with this house kind of tie together in some way too. This is a very well thought out book. The author did a great job just coming up with a really complex story, so I highly recommend this one. And then lastly, I have menagerie, which by the way, menagerie is one of my favorite words in the English dictionary of all time, by Rachel Vincent. This one is super cool because it's a menagerie that's owned by the Rudolph family. They take in freaks and weirdos and all these different types of mythical creatures. Well, to us, we think they're mythical. In there, they totally exist. And so they take them in and make almost like a circus like show out of them that travels, like a traveling circus, and make them perform and do different things. And in one point in time, these sorts of creatures were able to coexist with humans. But then there was kind of like a war sort of like thing that then made them outcasts. So they either get killed or they're tortured or they end up in here, which is basically the same thing. So you get to see Delilah Marlowe, who thought she was a normal person all this time, kind of crack, kind of see, oh, maybe she is one of these creatures that belongs in the menagerie. But then you kind of find out maybe that's not necessarily the case. And I don't want to spoil it because it's like huge. But then it becomes her mission, once she's in the menagerie, get out. And then when she realizes kind of who she is and how she kind of exists with the menagerie, she tries to use that to her advantage to save all of her beloved friends that she ends up making in here, that she becomes so compassionate for. This one is really good. It looks a little bit bigger than it actually is. It's a pretty easy read as well. It's not too creepy, but it does have some really kind of chilling aspects. I love this book. Highly recommend. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you decide to read any of these books and what you think, which is your favorite. Have you read any already? Leave a comment down below and maybe suggest more for me to read. I love to get my hands on a good book, especially if they're creepy. I don't know, I kind of tend to lean towards those. I like the very peculiar books. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I just gotta eat the rest of this. Tastes very processed.